Welcome to Mum Abroad's YouTube channel, where I'm joined today by Duygu Sefa, founder and CEO of Babonbo. She's originally from Turkey and moved to Italy in 2007 to complete a master's degree. Duygu worked for more than 10 years in the multinational automotive sector as a product marketing manager, business development manager, and eventually countrywide manager. In 2017, upon returning from her first daughter's maternity leave, she felt disconnected from work and wanted to start her own business. After traveling with her daughter, Duygu created the idea of a baby gear rental marketplace to ease the traveling experience for families and give an opportunity for mums to grow a business. Hi, Duygu.
Hello, Jane.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
As I mentioned in my introduction, you turned your experience of traveling with your young daughter into a business opportunity. What were the most important things that you learned on that trip that helped you create your business, do you think?
Before being a mother, I used to travel the world for both business and personal reasons. And that was my passion, to discover new places and cultures. And I wanted to continue to do this also with my little girl. In fact, we made our first trip when she was only three months old. And during these experiences of traveling with her, I discovered that traveling with a baby requires a lot of organization before the trip. Everything is needed to be thought carefully and organized in advance. And on top of that, there is the difficulty of carrying all the bulky safety items, such as car seat, pram, co-sleeping bassinet, because it's not always easy to find them at our destination only for the time needed. And it's not only quite difficult, but also sometimes expensive, especially when we take a flight. And we run the risk also that the items can be broken, can be lost. This really happens, even if it sounds really not very realistic, but it happens quite often. Think about the simple example of also renting a car at your destination from a car rental. You can also rent a car seat for your baby. However, the car rental companies, they don't guarantee the availability. And then you discover when you arrive that the car seat does not perfectly fit to your baby's size. So all these situations create extra stress for the parents when we travel with a baby. I experienced all these during my travels, and I said, wait a minute, there should be an alternative to carrying these items or trying to find last-minute solutions at my destination. And I made a kind of research, and I discovered that there are a lot of small local rental business initiatives created mostly by moms. Sometimes also by fathers in a lot of touristic destinations. And I used also these services. I experienced this alternative solution. However, every time that I used these services, it was not process of making an order or communication. That was not very easy. It was long. It was not like booking a hotel or flight. So that is how I came up with the idea of creating a marketplace, baby gear rental marketplace. And my main objective was to help traveling families to connect easily to the local rental businesses and provide the best user experience for both.
So does Babonbo have a meaning?
Yes, Babonbo stands for Baby on Board. Baby on Board was very self-explaining name for our service, but it could not be our brand name for various reasons. So one day, my husband asked me, "Why don't you make it short? Make it Babonbo?" And I immediately liked the idea, and I decided to make it our brand name.
I like it. It's easy to say, and I think it's easy to remember as well.
Yeah.
How does Babombo help families with babies to travel light without giving up the safety and comfort that's so important when you are traveling with young children?
Yeah, basically, we help traveling families to connect easily through a user-friendly platform to the local people or businesses that rent baby equipment. This baby equipment can be strollers, car seats, high chairs, cribs, toys, and many other items. And Babombo service providers do not only rent equipment, but they also deliver them to the airports, hotels, apartments, grandparents' houses. So there is a direct connection between the customer and the provider. This really helps a lot to the traveling families because providers explain quickly how that product works. This is important also for the safety of the baby. Imagine that simple example that I've just made, renting a car seat from a car rental. They give you the car seat and they say, okay, this is the manual, read it and try to, this happened really a lot of times to me that we lost a lot of time understanding how to install that car seat correctly. So this direct connection, also the flexibility of the service, in terms of delivery location, in terms of day or time, providers deliver also during the weekend, which is not always possible if we talk about the classical shops which closes on a Sunday. So this kind of flexibilities also are very appreciated by the traveling families. They always thank us for creating such a useful service.
So, Duygu, can you walk us through the steps of exactly how the app works?
Yes, sure. Babombo is a platform which gives the opportunity to parents or local businesses with unused baby equipment inventory to create their own store for free. We call them providers, so parents or these local rental businesses. We call them providers. So explaining with a simple example, I have baby equipment in my home with a good condition that I don't use anymore for my kids, and I want to earn extra by renting them to families visiting Milan, where I live. I open my store by myself on Babombo. It's so simple. I upload all the products, the photos. I decide the prices of the daily rental rates. Decide where I can make the deliveries based on my, the resources in this or the time in the city center. It can be to the airport, to the cities around me. Then I publish my store and become Babombo provider. Families planning to visit Milan, when they search for Milan on the platform, as soon as they land on our platform, they find the list of products available. They choose the product, choose where and when they want to be delivered. And if they have any doubts about the product or the service, they can directly chat with the provider. This is something that the users like a lot, because we parents, we might have a lot of questions to ask before taking something for our babies. So they find all the answers to their questions before making the order. They send the order, providers receive the order and orders. They can accept or reject it. If the order is rejected for some reason, maybe the provider is not available that day, the customer can make another order to another provider in that city. So this is how the app basically works.
It seems like a well thought out service to me, and one that is definitely needed. Do you recommend that families book items in advance?
Definitely yes, for many reasons. First of all, especially in high season like summertime, we have really high demand from traveling families, and providers sometimes out of their stock, their own personal stock of baby equipment. So it's always better to book the baby equipment in advance, like we do for flights or hotels or apartments. Usually parents are tend to book these items in the last minute, and then sometimes they cannot find the items available and they become very upset. So we recommend absolutely to book also the baby equipment in advance.
So at the moment, your services are available in many cities in Italy and some other European very popular destinations. Which cities can families rent baby equipment from Babombo providers?
We are present in more than 100 cities in Europe today, most of them in Italy, around 70 cities. The reason of this, because we started in Italy creating a provider network. Starting from this year, we started to expand the provider network abroad. And today we are also in cities like London, Paris, Barcelona, Lisbon, Istanbul, Antalya, Athens, Prague, and many Greek islands, and the list goes on. However, these are the most important cities that I can mention.
I know that you're hoping to expand even further into other European cities. For any parents who are watching, who might be interested in this as a business opportunity, what is important for them to know?
First of all, it is a free. It's a free service for those who are interested in starting this business. There is no need to make any investment. They can start with baby equipment in good condition that they don't use anymore for their kids. The products should be, of course, in good condition. I repeat, because it's important. It should be clean, and every time cleaned again after each rental, sanitized. The main products that we rent most are strollers, car seats, and portable beds. So we always suggest our providers to add those items, and sometimes they even invest and they buy these products even if they don't have, and once they see the opportunity that they can earn extra. Is talking about earning, they can earn up to 1,500 euro per month. This is actually what happens to some of our providers in Italy. In Italy, we are very well known, so they really earn a good amount of money extra by renting baby equipment. And the good part of it, that they can manage their own business with their own schedule, since we are giving an opportunity mainly to moms to start their own business. And moms, really, they need flexible schedule to manage also the kids and the house. It's really one of the best part of Babombo, creating a store on Babombo.
So it's an ideal opportunity to have a small business and work life that you can fit around your family life, basically.
Absolutely.
You offer short-term rentals, as you mentioned before. So that's for families perhaps who are traveling on holiday or are visiting family members. But you also offer long-term rentals. What made you decide to do that?
As a parent, I know that especially when we become for the first time a parent, we buy a lot of baby items, a lot of equipment. And this really has a very important impact in the economy or the economy of the family, because the good quality, premium quality products cost really a lot. Having experienced that during the pandemic, since the travels were almost zero, we launched this new service, and we called it Babombo Home in Italy, only in Italy. Especially for parents to be pregnant moms in the last trimester, when they started to think about what to buy for the newborn. And we propose them renting instead of buying. Renting, because a lot of items, especially in the first year, they are used for a few months. And they cost a lot, and then we don't know what to do with those items. We try to sell, sometimes we cannot. So the value proposition was basically rent baby equipment only for the time needed and pay per use. And this really was appreciated a lot by the new parents or parents expecting their second or third child.
It's clear that Babombo was born out of the necessity to provide support for families and flexibility for them while they're away. And by offering a rental service, you're also encouraging parents to rethink their purchasing habits, as you mentioned, and this has a positive economical impact on them. It also has a positive environmental consequence. And I was wondering, how much did you consider this when setting up your business?
Actually, it was one of the main reasons why I created this rental alternative to buying. When we become parents, especially for the first time, we are so excited, so keen to buy a lot of stuff because we think that we do good for our kids. But when we think about for a second, am I doing the right thing for my kid, for the future of my kid? Maybe the answer is no, because we are creating really a lot of waste. Think about all those toys, and a lot of baby equipment is made of plastic, so we create a lot of plastic waste. Positive environmental impact of renting is huge because we really increase the lifespan of the products. That is why this was one of the main reasons that when I created this rental business, actually.
What would you say to parents who are reluctant to use second-hand equipment?
It's always possible to find very good quality, very perfect condition second-hand baby equipment. So I always suggest to consider to parents, also my friends, to look for them. Second-hand business is a huge market which is growing a lot. Actually, the numbers, market researchers say that baby equipment, first-hand new equipment market is recently decreasing, and one of the reason of that is because the second-hand baby equipment market is growing. So parents are more and more interested in evaluating this alternative to buying a new product. So I always suggest it. I also personally use it, secondhand baby equipment. Of course, it's important to pay attention to some aspects before buying secondhand, but it's always a good alternative.
And finally, what advice would you give to parents who are thinking about traveling with babies and young children? You obviously have a lot of experience yourself.
Yes. First of all, I advise not to be scared of going on vacation with babies, even newborns. Really, babies learn much more when they travel. I really observe this. Now I have my second baby. She's 2 years old. My first baby, 5 years old. They really enjoy in every age. They really enjoy seeing, observing new things. They are really excited. So my first advice is to take any occasion to go for vacation with your baby. So the second advice is to organize things a little bit in advance, not to make the luggage last minute. I know it's quite difficult for parents, especially these days that we are very busy, but it's always good to think about organizing what the baby needs also during the vacation in advance. And of course, use such services like renting the things at your destination to travel light, comfortable, and safe, because the parents shouldn't compromise the comfort and the safety especially the safety when they travel. Uh, Businesses like Babonbo, so rental businesses are growing. Search for them, use them, experience them, and I'm sure you will be very happy, very happy with this service, and you will use again and again every travel. So these are my main advices to the parents.
Great pieces of advice. Thank you. So at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to show your website address. That's www.babombo.com. And if anybody wants to find out more about your services or how to download the app, they can take a look there at the website. They'll also find your contact details. So that just remains for me to say I've really enjoyed talking to you today, Duygu, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Jane. I really enjoyed the interview so much. And thank you also for giving the opportunity to share my experiences and advices with the parents, with the families traveling with their kids.